Hey guys, it's me Brett. I've got a game here on KGS, and this time I decided to play a different opening than usual. So I get black, and I decide to play the Low Chinese, which I haven't really played a lot of before, but I want to try some different things. I've been playing the Orthodox a lot lately, and it's starting to get a little stale. So thought I'd mix it up and try something else, and this is the game we end up with. So white approaches at the top, back off, and white just makes this formation, which is for sure fine. The other option is to come into the corner, but this is good too. So I approach the bottom, and we make this double wing formation, and I would think that white should be really concerned about this bottom right area and invade right away. And we could see some Joseki like this, perhaps. Um, and there are lots of possible options here. Something like this is, or like this is a possibility. But it's pretty good for black. I mean, you can see black makes pretty solid territory on the bottom. Well, not territory, but good influence, and he's going to get some points down here. And this is looking pretty big. But anyway, white instead decides to invade here, which to me seems like it's small compared to this area and compared to this area on the left. So I think the timing's wrong. Like there's just other big points worth taking. But we play here, and now white makes a mistake because he plays this wedge. Now you can play this wedge when both ladders are working, in this case for white. But because black's got this stone here, it's going to be a ladder breaker for this stone, and we'll see it in a second. The same way, if black has a stone over here somewhere, you can break this ladder, and black is the one who gets to choose which ladder happens. So this is how it goes. Black can cut here, and white has to extend, and then black, in this case, takes this Atari because this ladder is working for black, this one. Oh, excuse me. So white realizes that this ladder is working, and he just descends here. Um, what I play in the game is this move, and I think it's okay, but I think I missed an opportunity to do even better. Um, so let's look at some of these variations if I just link here instead. So at this point, white really has to do something about trying to make these two stones live. Otherwise, this group's going to be weak and all this will be connected and it's going to be a pretty rough game. So my thought is that white takes this Atari and plays here. And now what should he do? He can come back to these stones, and it threatens a ladder. So if black answers here, now all of a sudden this ladder is working for white, you can see. Just goes out to the side. So black would have to answer for these two stones. But if black answers for these two stones, let's see what happens. Let's say we just extend. Now white gets to play this move. And I don't think there's any good moves for black here. What can we do? Go down here, and it's looking pretty bad. So I guess the point is, this looks to me, unless I'm just missing something really obvious, which is very possible, that black has to answer for both sides. Here, there, that's dead. And this way is dead. Yeah, so I guess you can't link here, and you need to play something to attack these two stones. So the other option was to play this right away, I guess. And I think it ends up looking pretty much the same as the game. So let's keep going. So I descend here. That threatens to kill these two stones. And now you can see that this isn't working because we can just extend and do this, which is fine. So white cuts now this one. So I wonder if I made a mistake in the game again here. So in the game, I just took this, and then White got his other Sente move in, and then came back and played this way to try and make a base here, and I just answered for the corner. So I mean, I think this result is still fine because this group is pretty weak, and this group is strong, and these two stones are going to end up being weak. But I wonder if there's another option. So instead of playing this Atari, what if we play here? Now I decided against it in the game because I didn't want to make this one stone weak, you know, and then if this group ends up being strong, so let's say, I mean, you wouldn't come back now, but we come back now and then White gets this, you know, I think now this is sort of looking like an influence, and we're crawling on the second line here. So we're not making a lot of territory, and White's group isn't really looking that weak anymore. So what would the other option be? I suppose we could move this group out now, maybe this way. And White can't Hane because we just kill it. So maybe White extends, and then we extend again. This is looking pretty good, and Black, you know, White still can't ever do anything with these stones. And if he goes here, this is still just fine, like that. And this is looking pretty dead. So maybe this probably is better. I don't see any better moves for White to punish this if we just keep pushing here. I mean, even if he cuts, right, this is not going to be a problem, but I don't think we'd play like that. We would eventually maybe even do this. No, that. So I think I missed an opportunity to have an even better result than what happens in the game by not playing this Atari. Because I think, yeah, pushing with this group seems pretty strong. All right, so let's continue on with the game here. And what happens in the game? So we take this Atari. White stabilizes this group and makes kind of a base, but Black gets strong here. You know, this is pretty solid. There's still an invasion, I guess, at R7, but this group's pretty weak, so I don't know that he can actually do it. And Black keeps this area. And if we go back, you know, I mean, sure, this was Black's potential at a certain point here. But instead of making this area into territory, Black makes this area, you know, if White comes in here. So now this area wouldn't be Black's territory, but he'd make some influence on the bottom. In the game result, it's just the opposite. We make this territory. We give White a weak-ish group here, but Black hangs on to this side. So I think it's overall a good result for Black. And yeah, then we get to come back and ladder these two stones. I wonder if this is a little small, but yeah, so maybe this is a little small, because even if he kills these two stones, I don't think it's that big. This group's pretty strong. So maybe now is actually the time to do this right away. You know, and if Black ends up just taking the corner with this Fuseki, I think it's still an okay game for Black because this corner is still open. So, well, I guess the top right corner is open too. We could play this out. And then White could maybe trade himself. I guess this time it'd be appropriate to block. We play the same thing. And I wonder what the score estimator says. I'll look at it because I'm feeling too lazy to count right now. Options, score estimator. So it likes White, but it's giving White a ton of points in the middle. So maybe we'll count ourselves. White has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 29. So maybe 29 points at the top. And 15 makes 45. And 10, well, it's hard to say because black has this possibility. We'll give it 5. So maybe 50 points on the board, and black has, I mean, way more than 50, right? This side could be 45 on its own, and this is, we'll just call it 10, even though it's probably more like 8, 50, and then down here a few. So unless white really gets some big moves to grow this middle area, which is possible, or to grow right here, I think the game's okay for black. Especially you can see black could try and grow this area. Maybe try some leaning, like get some more influence here and then come back to take this side. But all right, let's get back to the game. Where were we? Way back here. So yeah, so I ladder these stones. I think it might be the wrong idea. White plays that Atari in there, and now I don't see the point of this move. I think white should just use his ladder breaker. And then play one of these moves probably. And then black would have to invade like that. Or actually, this is probably the biggest move for white to keep this corner. And then black would invade. But so white played this slow move. And here I wanted to play this approach because it's really big, but I was annoyed that you know, white could play this pincer as a ladder breaker, you know, and I have to come back and answer, and then he could block the corner. And now this stone is just all on its own. So that kept me from playing there. So I went into the corner instead. It's also big because I wanted white to play his own ladder breaker, and I didn't want to help him do it. I mean, the other option was to invade here, but that seems small. So anyway, we play out this, and then white finally does come back and he plays the ladder breaker. And what should white do now? I mean, taking this corner would be big, or maybe securing one of these two sides would be big. He might be able to even try for this invasion now, or some invade over here somewhere. But he doesn't. He leans. So I don't like this move, but you'll see I make kind of a mistake and let him get a better result. And right here I make a mistake because I go ahead and take this tiger's mouth. It is a good shape point, but it lets him do this. So that's annoying, and he decides to play ko. And then as his ko threat, he plays this, which is not a good ko threat. There are probably lots of fine moves besides that. I mean, really just, I think linking here is fine. Right, because now he's going to keep this corner. So that was a pretty big mistake by me to let him take the corner here, but he plays this, which isn't a code threat. So I take, and then he connects, we hane, and he plays this mistake. So I guess he thought, no matter what I did, let's say I just played this, he was going to get this link or something. But no, so this is just Atari and kills those stones. So now the game is pretty good for black, and we take the time to go and invade here. Of course, this is another option. I don't know that one side is a whole lot better than the other. What I thought was if I invade this top one, maybe these two stones will become weak. You know, so if he plays like this, we get to some sort of position like this where, I mean, they're not weak, but at least they're not connected to the corner over there, and there's still some aji in the corner. But instead of that, he plays this pincer, which I think makes this stone a little over-concentrated. I mean, I think, and he gives up the corner, which is pretty big. And then he blocks that way, which is probably fine. I don't know why he played this instead. I mean, it leaves a cutting point to try and take advantage of later. You know, this seems fine to me, and it helps down here a little more. But anyway, let's see. Yes, then we play to build the middle. He goes in for the corner, we block. And then he plays this attach, which I don't think is good. So now we build like some really clean influence right here, basically in Sente, and get to grow. That's probably slow though, to play like that. I mean, I thought it was Sente against these stones, but still, it's probably just better to play, oops, like this, right? I mean, just get out faster. Of course, this white area is getting to be big, and I was looking, trying to figure out what to do about it, because I didn't really want white to get a turn to play something like, let's just say he plays that. I mean, then this area is pretty big. I mean, sure, we probably get to share some of the middle with a move like this to try and, you know, limit it and take some of our own points. But it looks pretty big. Anyway, oh, I went back way too far. Anyway, so we just play this one space jump. It threatens these two stones, but now I think it is too slow, because now, you know, if white takes the time, I mean, maybe if you can just play this, who cares if I take these two stones, right? I'm not going to play that right now, because white will just ignore it and reduce even more. So that's, I think, a mistake. But he answers, which I think is also a mistake, because this is just really small. And now we jump. And again, I think I should have probably played for this long knight's move instead. I mean, if he just pushes, it's obviously not good. And if he tries to cut, I think we can fight this without being too worried about it. Even if we're just pushing from behind, like these stones, they're not going to live. So this is probably a bit slow, and he goes right in for this invasion. And I just decided to play here, which is probably too passive. You know, what if we try and really attack this guy with maybe this one? And if he just runs away, you know, we're going to destroy his area pretty easily. So that would be good. So anyway, that's maybe better. But we block, and he digs in here, which I think is a mistake. And we just sort of block it all off. He plays that. We cut it because it's not a problem. And now he's kind of made this weak group. And he threatens to cut this stone. So here I make a mistake, because I played this, and I should just play here and kill these two stones. And now I think we're not looking so great, because this area is really getting big. So that's probably a mistake by me. Instead, it's probably fine to just maybe even come in here. No, that looks too far. Maybe just push and cut like this is fine, because the ladder's not working, right? Just, oh, where is it working? Let's take a look. Nope, ladder's good for black. So maybe just the push and cut is better. But what do we get in the game? He plays that, which is a mistake, I think, for sure. And then he jumps, and I think this is Sente against these stones, but it's probably small compared to attacking that. So I think he made a good choice. If we had just pushed and cut, like, these stones are in trouble. What's he going to do? He's going to have to Atari, and then this guy's in trouble if he tries to help it. this cut works to kill those. So yeah, we probably should have just taken the push and cut here, and it would have been better, would have been the game. But we play this one, and now the cut isn't as good. Although we do get to kill those 2 stones, which is nice because we get this thickness to come and invade here, or reduce here. And I don't think anything else particularly exciting happens the rest of the game. We end up taking these stones here, but yeah, it's all just end game. I'm sure I missed some opportunities to play good end game. Oh yeah, he tried this at the end. He throws in. Now, I don't think any of this is working. I mean, I think there are mistakes that you can make. For example, like just going down, right? That would be pretty bad. And I was wondering about this one. He goes down, and then I've got to protect against this move. This one maybe. There, 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 there. Yeah, it's alive. So yeah, I don't think any of this is working as long as you protect. But I played this. He pushed here, and we Haned. I wonder if so. If he plays this right now, no, it's not working because you can just kill this 1 stone. Oh, that would have been a silly mistake to make. Yes, I guess you have to go down. And down again. Yeah, we're fine. So yeah, so he tried something in the end. It didn't work. I don't even think this was necessary. I kind of worried after I played this that if he comes here and we do this, then we're going to have to play some weird co, but it's not working, right? Oh, that's even, just that. So anyway, yeah, the game ends here, and we have a pretty big, we win by like 20 points. So no problem. I think really the game was pretty good for black just after this invasion, although we did, I think, miss an opportunity to really have a better result because we should have played this Atari and then followed this one. But anyway, that was the game. I thought it was interesting. This Chinese opening will be something new, so I'll try and play some more of them to try and just, keep expanding on my openings. And thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all next time.